It is rare to make a video like this on a role player this early in the season, and especially considering I just made a video on the Bucks a couple days ago. But Ryan Rollins is the answer at the point guard position for the Bucks. I'm sold. Tonight was unbelievably impressive against a pretty much fully healthy Warriors team that obviously employs Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, Al Horford, bunch of guys that are vets and really high-level players. Ryan Rollins, without Giannis, was the best player on the court tonight and leads the Bucks to a very impressive win against a Warriors team that I think is a title contender. Like, I am very, very high on the Warriors this season. I think they're going to be really good. I think they are really good. And with no Giannis, Ryan Rollins walked down that whole Warriors roster and basically snatched their chain tonight. Really, really impressive stuff. And the honest thing about him is he's a guy who I think really I expected to make more of an impact with his defense than his offense this season. Looks like he's doing it everywhere. Kevin Porter Jr. rolled his ankle after the first game of the season for the Bucks, and that opened up the door for Ryan Rollins to be the starting point guard, and I don't think he's giving that spot back up. I like KPJ. He'll be a helpful player for this Bucks team when he returns. But I'm sold. Ryan Rollins, 32 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds, 13 of 21, 5 of 7 from 3, and don't forget full court pressure against Steph Curry throughout the night as well. This is a guy who is a competitive, physical, pesky defender. He's got pretty good size at the point guard position. He's a legit 6'3", pretty physically capable body. I mean, he's not a guy who gets pushed around easily. And I am so impressed by the offensive polish in his game so far this year. For a guy who, I mean, how much has Ryan Rollins actually played in his NBA career before this year? Not a lot. And he is all of a sudden making $4 million a year for the next 3 years, by the way. Looking like a really important player for this team. Yeah, he had a role on the Bucks last year, especially in the second half of the year. And it was a pretty decently sized role, and he played well. But I can't sit here and say I expected this. Before tonight's game, he's averaging 15, 4.5, and 3 steals a game, leading the league in steals to start the year. Didn't have any steals tonight, but clearly a competitive, pesky, high-level defensive player who also looks to have a level offensively that I just did not realize he has as a primary scoring option, or certainly a secondary scoring option with a healthy Giannis. Giannis isn't seriously injured. He just missed the game tonight. But I think this team basically filled a massive hole that Dame obviously left when they waived him, but also with the salary constraints of waiving Dame and having that massive cap hold that they're basically eating. Having a guy like Ryan Rollins emerge on a $4 million a year contract for the next couple of years is absolutely massive. He is going to very quickly and may already be one of the most underpaid players in the league. A competitive, physical, consistent guard defender who's also a 40% three-point shooter and looks to have real off-the-dribble chops and finishing ability as well. A couple of really impressive drives and finishes tonight for him against the likes of Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, Jonathan Kuminga, all athletic, versatile, capable, high-level defenders. He has been awesome the last couple games. Really, all 4 games he's started. 32, 25, 14, and 13. 8 assists, 4 assists, 8 assists, 2 assists. And even rebounding the ball a little bit for a guard as well. No super inefficient games. And in the biggest game of his career to this point against the team that drafted him, the Warriors, or maybe I think the Warriors may have traded for him on draft night, actually, but against the team that he basically became a member of on draft night, and then I believe he was traded away for Christmas. I forget exactly the whole circumstances behind the Ryan Rollins stuff. I think he got, if I'm not mistaken, released by Washington because he got caught shoplifting or something. I think. I haven't looked too much into it, but I'm pretty sure that's what I remember happening. Some sort of goofy stuff like that has now given him a huge opportunity in Milwaukee. Not getting paid a ton of money, but I can guarantee you in a couple of years he's going to be making a lot of money if he keeps playing like this. A guy who's going to be a 40% three-point shooter and a guard defender and an off-the-dribble offensive threat. That's a valuable player. That's a rare archetype of player in today's NBA, and it fills a massive need for this Bucks team. If they have a serious starting point guard here in Ryan Rollins, their roster is so much better, I think, than people expected this year. I'm a big AJ Green guy. Miles Turner, in my opinion, definite upgrade over Brook Lopez. Kuzma was okay tonight. I'm not sold at all, but in bench minutes, which is what he's going to play for most of the year, obviously played a lot larger role tonight because of Giannis not playing, but I think off the bench, I don't mind Kyle Kuzma being your 6th, 7th, 8th guy on a night-to-night basis. I like Cole Anthony. I think he's had a good year so far. I like his passing ability, although tonight was only two assists, 3 turnovers, but has been really good passing the ball so far. And honestly, Kevin Porter Jr. as well. He's a guy who's going to be really, really valuable for this team in maybe slightly less of a role than anticipated, but last year he was 3.7 to 1.7 assist to turnover ratio himself. I went and looked that up. I really think he and Giannis developed a certain level of rapport last year, but this is the key. For teams that are trying to seriously compete, you gotta find guys on the margins that can be impact players. Generally, they don't come in and play at really high-level starter levels like this, but I'm pretty sold. I think Ryan Rollins is the going forward starting point guard of this team, and a very good starting point guard. Like, this is a guy who very quickly could emerge into much, much, much higher level talks than he's ever been talked about before very quickly. I'm just going to say this. I can't watch it in this video for copyright purposes, but go watch this highlight clip right here from Brad Usher. Just go watch his highlights from tonight. Impressive, impressive stuff. That's all I'm going to say. Go watch that tape. It is really good stuff. Shout out Brad Usher, by the way. If you like NBA content, he's definitely one of the best follows on Twitter because he is dropping tons and tons of different nuggets and different videos on different players and stuff all throughout the season. Historic content as well. Definitely just great stuff in general. But, point being, I'm pretty sold. I really am. I think you have a really surprisingly deep roster. I think you have some pretty quality versatility between Cole Anthony, Ryan Rollins, Kevin Porter Jr. That's a couple ball handlers. Obviously, Giannis is a ball handler. Again, I think Miles Turner was a overall upgrade on Brook Lopez in terms of offensive versatility and probably defensive versatility at this point in his career as well. I mean, he's not quite the rim protector that Brook is, probably, but still going to block a lot of shots. Pretty mobile defensive player. I think Miles can be a little overrated at times in the defensive end of the court, but he's a useful player on this team. There's no doubt about that. And man, we'll see what happens throughout the year, but in an Eastern Conference, and I've talked about this multiple times already, but in an Eastern Conference that is just clearly not very deep, why not the Bucks? You know what I mean? I absolutely don't see why this team isn't right at the top. The Sixers look legit. VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey are awesome. Embiid's going to get stronger as the season goes along if he stays healthy. The Bulls are 4-0 somehow. Will that last? I'm not sold, but they seem like fun. Will they be good? Not completely convinced there. The Heat, I'm not sold on. The Cavs, we know they're going to be good, but I mean, they've kind of choked in the playoffs the last few years. Nobody's scared of them. The Pistons are good too, but again, I don't think teams are scared of the Pistons. I don't think teams are scared of the Knicks. The Hawks have struggled so far more than expected. The Celtics aren't fully healthy and aren't as good as they have been the last couple of years, even if Jason Tatum does come back and they wind up fully healthy. The Magic have struggled far more than expected to this point. I just look up and down the Eastern Conference and I go, why couldn't the Bucks, with arguably the best player in the conference, I mean, maybe not arguably, definitively the best player in the conference. The best 5 players in the NBA, in my opinion, are, and this is in no order, Luka, Jokic, Giannis, SGA, and Wemby. 4 of those 5 guys are in the West. You have the best player in your conference in Giannis Antetokounmpo. You have a absolute dog point guard now in Ryan Rollins that I don't think people expected to be this type of guy, but I'm telling y'all, he is. And then you have, I think, pretty solid depth around them with the AJ Greens, the Miles Turner, Kyle Kuzma, Gary Trent Jr., Taurean Prince, Bobby Portis, Cole Anthony, Kevin Porter Jr., Amir Coffey. It's a pretty good team. Like, they might actually be right now. I know we're very early in the season. I think so far they're my favorites, to be totally honest. I like this team coming out of the East so far this year. And they're a lot of fun to watch, and I think they're going to be really, really good. I had to talk about Ryan Rollins, though, man. Y'all go watch his highlights from tonight. He was spectacular. Love role players making a name for themselves, and he is doing exactly that. I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. NBA content, I'm sorry. Very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.